Hey guys, Deathslitter Magic here, and we're back with some spoilers. Sorry about the delay, but I've been a bit ill lately. But I'm back good enough to make one video, I guess. And we've got some blurry spoilers coming out of Magic 30, which, yeah, I'll make a video on Magic 30. I mean, the summary is it was kind of exactly how people thought it would go. And the Crimson Val Ball is going on right now, and there's about 20 people. But let's jump in with Gix's command. It's a 5-cost black sorcery and choose 2. Put 2 1/1 counters and up to 1 creature. It gains lifelink until end of turn. And option 2, destroy each creature with power 2 or less. Oh, we needed more of that in the game, but hey, it's 5. Return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Well, not to the battlefield, okay. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the highest power among creatures they control. So just generic blackness in spell form. At least it costs 5, because this is pretty powerful. But you know who else has a command? Kayla. Now this one's only a 3-cost double white sorcery, which is usually a sign that's pretty powerful. Choose 2, create a 2/2 colorless construct artifact creature token, put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control. It gains double strike till end of turn. Hello. Search your library for basic plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Well, that's a green ability, but sure. Okay, it's not like white never does that, but yeah, I think my white-green deck's a little powerful enough, and that's an enchantment one. The Go Wide Humans one is even better. Oh, let's see what the fourth one is. You gain 2 life and scry 2. Okay. Yeah, this is going in some Go Wide decks. It's not insanely overpowered, but just that double strike one and it being a permanent counter, not even a boost till end of turn, that kind of really overshadows the other 3. It's anomalously high-powered. Next up, we got Mishra's command. It's, oh, here it is. This is the one Mark was talking about. It's 1 red plus X, sorcery rare, and you choose 2. Choose target player. They may discard up to X cards. Then they draw a card for each card discarded this way. Okay, so if you knew what was in their hand, you could be like, nah, dump the whole thing, try it again. Or target yourself. The spell deals X damage to target creature. The spell deals X damage to target planeswalker. Okay, so it's like Heat Ray, but a little better and not instant. We've had stuff like that, but not recently, actually. It's been an alarmingly long amount of time before we just had a basic red X spell. Probably because of treasures. Then the fourth one is target creature gets plus X attack plus 0 and gains haste until end of turn. Ooh. Now see, haste plus I spent all my mana plus I benefit from haste. That's kind of weird. I don't know why they even bothered with haste, I guess. Maybe if it was like created on a trigger, like it's a token, which there's going to be a lot of that in this set, so it kind of makes sense. But, you know, no trample, no first strike, no double strike. This is just like a good card. Now, that said, that's not overwhelmingly powerful, but I still think this is probably going to end up being worth a couple dollars because it's just so utility. And I'm very glad they didn't make it instant. So next up, we've got Thorn of Amethyst. So this is a $23 card that was only ever printed in Lorwyn, okay? Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast for everybody, 2-drop, colorless. That is huge in certain types of decks. So I think with this being like basically a masterpiece, they're not calling it that, but that's what it is. I think they called it, was it schematic cards or like blueprint cards or something, but they're just reprints. I don't think these are standard legal, but if you pull one in a draft or a sealed pool, you can play with it. So don't quote me on that because honestly, WOTC's not being very clear, but anything with this border, I guess it could be from the set. We don't really know, but there's no number on it, so I can't really tell. But yeah, value reprint. But confusing the matter even more, we've got also Thorn of Amethyst. Okay, so old frame, but like not schematic. Does that mean it is legal? Nobody knows, and this is coming all out of, you know, Magic 30, so there's like no details on it. I could research it, but at this point. So next up we got Ramos Dragon Engine. That's a reprint, of course. This is from Commander 2017. It's a $30 card. This is probably even more expensive, although there was the Commander Legends variant that was pretty darn good looking and still only about $30, so we'll see. So it's a 6-drop, 4/4 with flying, and whenever you cast a spell, put a 1/1 counter on Ramos Dragon Engine for each of that spell's colors. Yes, it's that bonkers out of control. Then remove 5 1/1 counters from it and add 10 mana, 2 of each, to your mana pool. Activate only once each turn. Yeah, the card's insane. So next up we got Swiftfoot Boots. Used to be very sought after. I remember getting some money for these when they were in some reprint sets, but now they've reprinted it to death. It's like $1.50. Just, you know, 2-drop, equip 1, equip creature as hexproof and haste. Just darn good cards. I think the real value here is just absolute card-based proof that you can, in fact, run away from your problems. Next up, we got Phyrexian Processor. This is a weird one. It was in the World Championships set as a gold border, and those are insanely old, but worth about 35 cents, which means that no matter how old, how rare, how limited edition the card is, it doesn't matter if you can't legally play it in legal formats. Wait a minute, that sounds familiar. So next up, Staff of Domination. I mean, these are all reprints, and I don't think that these are legal and standard. Who knows? I mean, when they did Masterpieces, they did the Gear Hulks, you know what I mean? Like, it could be a mix of legal and not legal. But man, this is about a $6 card. It's been reprinted a little bit, but it's really powerful. So, yeah, pretty nutty abilities, obviously very based on D&D, whether they want to admit it or not. So I'm noticing that this, along with the other ones that even had 2 versions, both have a completely different set symbol. So hopefully hope that we don't have to play with this crap in standard. That would be nice. So next up, a mythic that does have the correct set symbol. It's In the Trenches. 3 cost white enchantment, double white. Hello. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Okay, Universal Lord's card. Probably should say white creatures if they want to keep it tame, considering the state of, green-white humans. Not exactly an unexpected deck archetype. They literally designed it. And then if you pay 6, exile target non-land permanent you don't control until In the Trenches leaves the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery and only once. Not once per turn, once. That is kind of interesting. There's nothing interesting about go wide green-white humans right now, but, in the vacuum, this card's kind of neat. Next up, Chromatic Lantern, another schematic card or whatever. I could look up what they're called, but they posted this like a month ago. I couldn't find it on the archive, and I put 15 whole seconds into looking for it. And based on the number of attendees at Magic 30, I think I'm not in the minority here about not giving a shit about anything they bring out anymore. $1,000 Magic 30 sets kind of turned me off a little bit. So Chromatic Lantern here is about still a $12 card. The cheapest version of it is $9, and that's the one from the Universes Beyond Warhammer 40k set. Uh-oh. That's the cheapest one? Uh-oh. Masterpiece is $200 though, by the way. Next up, Mind's Eye, which thank God this isn't legal, so that's about a $9 card. It actually was in Battle Bond, which, okay. 5-drop, whenever an opponent draws a card, you may pay 1 if you do draw a card. Simple. Everything you can draw, I can draw better. Next up, we got an actual verified correct card here with a number in the correct symbol. Feldon Ronam Excavator. It's a 2-cost 2/2 legendary creature, human artificer with haste, and he cannot block because he's too busy doing archaeology, darn it. So, whenever Feldon is dealt damage, exile that many cards from the top of your library. Choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. Notice it doesn't say that instead that happens. So you still take the damage, which is good, because I'm sick of those, I guess we could just call them lich abilities. And if they gave that to a red card, we'd be coloring pretty far outside the lines in that coloring book, and they've already taken the colored pie and just thrown it clear out a window at this point. So it's a pop the top, use it or lose it effect. I'm just naming stuff whatever I want at this point. But you have to take a hit to do it. Interesting trade-off in a color that can't typically heal itself. I just think you wouldn't have the mana to cast or use any of those cards that early in the game if he's a 2-drop. Next up, we got Blast Zone. Well, we saw that in War of the Spark. Yeah, interesting reprint. It's only about $2, but hey. It enters battlefield with a charge counter on it. You tap it for colorless, and if you pay XX, so, X equals 2, you're paying 4, X equals 4, you're paying 8. Put X charge counters on Blast Zone, and then tap it, pay 3. Sack it, and destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Blast Zone. Equal to, not less than. So, it was an annoying card, but it was like within reason power level. You had to really charge it up. Then you had to pay 3 to detonate it, and then it only got rid of one small category of things, and there are better ways to get rid of tokens. So, yeah, people will play it, but it's not like outrageous. There are way worse cards in Standard. And finally, it's ya boy, Monastery Swiftspear.
It makes me want to die!
So that was a mistake, reprinting this stupid card. Now, I could have sworn this actually was banned in a format. Maybe it was unbanned, I don't know. The Gatherer doesn't do historic stuff, it really just kind of covers for WOTC. But, I could probably name 1 or 2 cards more universally hated than this, but some people would even say it's a tie. I mean, Oko, come on. Literally anything with Companion written on it, I hated Companion so much that when I first saw it, I booted up Skyrim and I went and burned down the Companion's headquarters, okay? That's how much I hated Companion in Ikoria. I'm joking, but there's probably a mod for it. Yeah, so a 1-drop 1/2 in red, uncommon slot with haste and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Just stupidly overpowered. Horrifically overpowered for red rush, red wins, win on turn 4, cheap gimmick crap that stupid 12-year-olds bring to F&M and say, ooh, look, mommy, I won because I flipped a coin and went first. Woo! And then they have a meltdown when they don't get a free auto win and then have 55 minutes to themselves to do nothing. Oh, the great backfire of running a dickish rush deck. If you play this, you're a terrible person, and whatever absolute maniac at WOTC decided to take this for a second spin probably was the same person who put Ugin back in standard, and that went really well too. So, absolute pile of trash this card is. And if you think I'm overreacting, you weren't there, okay? You were not there. People still have PTSD over this frickin' card. What a great way to leave it off with, I'm gonna go sleep. So, see you guys next video.